is marble cancer. Okay. So acids are said to be corrosive because they will eat the surface of different things. If some acids were to fall on our skin, it will eat the surface of the skin. You might be aware of some acids like the hydrochloric acid. It's the acid that was earlier used as bathroom cleaners. Okay, now that the acid that is available in the yellow color, the acid that is usually in the yellow color, that is hydrochloric acid, and that is used to clean the surfaces of tiles of bathrooms, etc., because it has a corrosive effect, meaning that it will eat the surface of different things. Okay, so first thing is that acids are sour. Another thing is that acids are said to be corrosive in nature. Getting it so far?
Yes.
That is one thing. Furthermore, acids would be of different types. We will learn that acids would be of different type. Like some of the acids are weak and they are organic acids, meaning that they are found in organic substances, like it will be found in the animals and in the plants, in the plant and plant materials. So what we get to see that in our daily life, we'll be using large number of edible substances, like we use lemon, we use baking soda, we use tamarind, common salt, sugar, curd, and vinegar and whatnot. Some of these substances, they taste sour, some of them have a bitter taste, and some of them have a sweet, but some of them have a salty taste. So acid, bases, and salts, these are the three important groups of chemical substances that are used by us in different ways, that are being used by us in different ways. Now, some of the acids, bases, and the salts occurs in nature. They will be occurring in nature right now. Like you'd be aware of the salt rock. Some of the salt rock, they are edible. We consume that. Getting it? While these acids or bases or salts, they can be artificially made in the factories also. Getting it now so far what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So we have lots of edible substances like lemon, orange juice, and vinegar, or curd, or tamarind. All of them would be having a sour taste. But when you look at some substances like, for example, baking soda, you know about baking soda, it is used in the kitchen. It is used in added in dishes in small amounts,
Yes.
right? Mm. So that has a bitter taste. If you were to put it in your mouth, like it will be giving a bitter taste. Or accidentally, let's say you were taking a bath and accidentally if some soap were to go into the mouth accidentally, so that also has a bitter taste. Why is it so? Because that baking soda or the soap, they contain bases in them. That is one thing. Okay, so just let me just give you the brief of the content of this chapter, acid, bases, and salts. Like what are the different things that you have to study in this. So in this, you'd be learning about acids. First thing, we'll be learning about its properties, then their types, like what are the different types of acids. Okay, so today let us understand about acids. Okay, if time permits, we'll be learning about the property of bases also. Okay, no? So these are some of the different substances, like you have vinegar, lemon juice, the acid used in the battery, and soda. All of them contain acids in them. Lemon juice namely contains, let me write the name of it. Lemon juice would be usually containing citric acid in it. That is citric acid. Vinegar, you know about vinegar. In Urdu, we also call this as sirka.
Yes.
Huh? So it contains an acid called as acetic acid. Acetic acid. The inverter battery or the car batteries, they contain an acid called as sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid. While the soda that we drink, that contains an acid called as carbonic acid. In fact, we'll be relearning about all these in the types of acids. We'll be learning about it once again. But here, basically, I meant to say that these are some of the common substances that we use on a day-to-day basis. and all of them contains acid in them. So this is some example of household substances that contains acid. Later on, we'll be looking at the household substances like baking soda, ammonia, borax, and soap that also contains base in them. Talking about acid, acids are basically the substances that have a sour taste and they are corrosive in nature. That have a sour taste and are corrosive in nature. Particularly, if you were to talk about the corrosive nature of the acids, so say that we have a marble tile, we have a marble. So on this, if I were to drop few sulfuric acids or any given acid is being dropped in it. Let us say I have dropped some hydrochloric acid in this. Hydro drops of hydrochloric acid is dropped on this. So what will I observe? That the surface or the place where it was dropped, that surface will become damaged and it will lose its luster. That surface, this surface loses the luster. Loses the luster. So earlier, let us say that if that surface was smooth like this, so now that surface would have become like this. See the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now so this is before and this is after. So basically, when you look at the surface, like it appears as if the surface has been eaten by this acid. It appears as if the surface has been eaten by the acids. Okay, so many times it leads to phenomena called as marble cancer also. Marble cancer. So thereby that's why we say that acids are corrosive in nature. Okay. Also, for example, like this hydrochloric acid is an example of a very strong acid. Even if we were to take example of some weak acids, like the acid present in the lemon, acid in the lemon juice. So that is also corrosive in nature. That is also corrosive in nature. Like if someone were to rub this, use this lemon juice, we can clean a rusted iron to some extent. We have a rusted iron. So that rusted iron can be cleaned using this lemon juice to some extent. Although it not be, we can't clean it very properly, but we can clean it. Because when you will be dropping some lemon juice on this, so that will also eat the surface of this rusted piece of iron. Getting it?
Yes.
So what we get to know that so far that acids are the substances that have a sour taste and they are corrosive in nature. That is one thing. But we know that there will be two types of acids. One will be very strong acids, and another one will be weak acids. Weak acids, we will be able to taste them, we'll be able to in fact eat them, we'll be able to consume them. Like this lemon, we can drink this, it will not be harming our body that much. It will not be causing any harm to the body. But what about the acids, for example, that will be used to clean the bathroom tiles, for example? So that we can't consume, it will damage our organs now. Or in fact, let us say I were to be provided with a bottle of hydrochloric acid that is used to clean the bathrooms. Let us say that, and that is yellow in color. But let us say I don't know that this is HCl. This is hydrochloric acid. I'm not aware of it. Let us say. So how will I test whether this is acidic or basic in nature? How am I going to test that? By testing it or by some standard methods?
By a standard method.
By some standard method. So to check whether a given substance is acid or not, for that purpose, we have some substances that are called as indicators. So indicators are those substances that by changing its color or by changing or by losing its smell will tell whether a given substance is a acid base or whether it is a neutral substance. So in the chapter nutrition in animals, I think you would have studied about lichens. Have you studied about lichens? Lichens.
Yes,
This,
sir.
huh?
Yes.
So there's an indicator called as litmus, and this litmus is made using this light chain. Light chain, it's a symbiotic relationship of two organisms. Name those organisms. What are the organisms between which makes up the light chains?
Organism.
There are two organisms that will be living a symbiotic relationship. They live in a symbiotic relationship now, namely fungus and alga. A fungi and an algae will be living in a symbiotic relationship, and they appear in the form of lichens. But the interesting thing is that using this lichen, we can make litmus paper. I think since this chapter has been done in the school, so you might be familiar with the term litmus paper. Okay, so it is an indicator using which we can check whether a given substance is acid, base, or not. So let us say that we have taken a blue litmus paper. So we have taken a blue litmus paper here, and as we dip it into the given solution, now the color has changed to red here. So if the color changes from blue to red, so thereby it is an indication that the given solution is an acid. So acids are known to turn the blue litmus paper into red. Hope that is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Furthermore, some common examples are orange juice, curd, vinegar, hydrochloric acid, etc. That is one thing. Another important thing about the acid is now, whenever we study about some important terms in science or in any other subject, it is important to understand from where that word has been derived. So the word acid, it has been derived from a Latin word. It has been derived from a Latin word that is acidus, Acidus. Okay, now, and acidus in Latin mean sour. Let me write it over here. Acidus in Latin means sour. So this is how this term came into use. It has been derived from a Latin word acidus, which means sour. Furthermore, an important thing to be considered that all the substances that are sour, all the substances that are sour will essentially contain acids in them. Whatever substance are sour in nature, all of them will be containing acid in them. So that should be clear. Okay. Okay.
Our stomach, which type of acid are there?
It's hydrochloric acid in the stomach now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the hydrochloric acid. Okay. The inner lining of the stomach, it secretes the hydrochloric acid that kills the bacteria in the food. If the along with the food, if any bacteria might have entered into the stomach, so that bacteria will be killed with the action of hydrochloric acid. Okay. And in fact, the hydrochloric acid in your stomach is very strong. It can dissolve a piece of iron nail. It is so strong. But you might be wondering, like, why doesn't it harm the muscle cells?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's another substance secreted by the inner lining of the stomach that is called as mucus. You know, that is mucus. So which neutralizes the effect of the acid. Basically, it will be preventing the inner lining of the stomach from the acid. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the case. Okay. Talking about the types of acids. So on the basis of origin, acids would be of two types. Acids would be of two types. One that will be strong, another one that will be weak. Furthermore, the strong acids are usually found in the they are usually prepared in the laboratory, while the weak acids are usually present in the nature. They are present in the edible foods. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So one is the strong, and we also call this as the mineral or inorganic acids. That is also a term that we use. When we talk about the another group of acids, we have the organic acids. Or basically, they are the natural acids. natural acids. Or this one here is the artificial acids. So whenever you get to see the terms like artificial acids or mineral or inorganic acids, or when you look at the term like a strong acids, so all of them are basically the same thing. Okay, no, nothing to be confused about it. So on the basis of origin and the strength, we have two types of acids. One is strong, another one is weak. Now, although we have this classification, but it does not necessarily mean that the natural acids will be that all of the natural acids will be weak. Like for example, we had the example of hydrochloric acid that is usually very strong. The hydrochloric acid that is produced in our stomach, that will be considered as a natural acid. Okay, now because in our stomach the body is manufacturing that acid. So although we have this classification, but there will be some exceptions. Okay, now there will be some exceptions. So hope that much is clear. Okay,
Yes.
let us look at some of the examples then. So talking about the examples of mineral acids, we have the common examples of mineral or strong or inorganic acids as follows. We have sulfuric acid, nitric acid, then we have hydrochloric acid. We have hydrochloric acid. These are some common strong acids. Then when we look at the weak acids, we have a long list of so many acids in this, like you have oxalic acid found in the spinach, you have citric acid found in citrus fruits, you have malic acid, then you have tartaric acid, then we have formic acid. Yeah, formic acids. So these are some of the common strong and weak acids, or basically artificial or natural acids. So hope this much should be clear.
Yes.
Okay. Furthermore, when we look at the case of hydrochloric acid, so this is both a artificial acid, like it can be prepared in the laboratory. It is a strong, but it's an organic acid also, like it is produced in the human body as well. Got this, no? So that is a special case of hydrochloric acid. Now let us look at the sources of the acids. So these are the sources of the organic acids or the weak acids. Like vinegar contains acetic acid, apple contains malic acid, and milk contains lactic acid in it. Then ant, you know why ant bite or the when you get stung by a bee, why it gives such a burning sensation? Why it is so painful? Because they release an acid into the skin called as formic acid. Okay, na? So as a defense, in order to protect themselves, they will be releasing this acid. So whenever they get triggered or this sense some danger, so they will be releasing this acid called as formic acid. Grapes contain tartaric acid. Tamarind also contains tartaric acid, by the way. Tomato has oxalic acid, and lemon, being a citrus fruit, it has citric acids. So these are the some of the edible sources of the organic acids. Okay, now
Yes.
while talking about the physical properties of the acids. So talking about the physical properties, so what we have learned so far, that when we talk about the physical properties, the first thing we learned about that acids are sour in taste,
Yes.
right?
Sour and chlorosin
And
are in chlorosin some.
corrosive. You mean to say
Cor-
corrosive?
Yeah.
Okay, na? Uh-huh. So acids are corrosive in nature. So this is the physical property of acids. First thing is that they are sour. Furthermore, they are corrosive in nature. So they are sour in taste. Furthermore, they are corrosive in nature. That means that they will be eating the surface of objects in which they will be put. Okay. Furthermore, we also see that acids have other physical properties like um, uh, like um, Acids are good conductors of electricity also. You know, if you have a solution, you have an acidic solution, and if you were to dip two copper wires in it, and let us say this is connected to a battery, and you have a bulb connected to this. You have a bulb connected to this. So thereby what we observe, that the bulb will glow. When the current will be made to pass through this solution here, let us say that we have some acidic solution in this. So what we get to see that this acid will allow the electricity to flow through it. It will allow the electricity to flow through it, and hence the bulb will glow. The
How?
bulb will be glowing because it allows the ions, it allows the charges to pass through it. Electricity is basically the flow of charges now.
Yes.
That is what electricity is. So this solution will allow the charges to flow through it. That's why acids are conductors of electricity. So acids are conductors of electricity. They're conductors. They're in fact good conductors of electricity. Okay. But in place of acid, if you were to have a distilled water will not conduct electricity. Okay, now that is one thing. Okay. Furthermore, acids would be turning the blue litmus to red, right?
Yes.
So acids turns blue litmus to red. Another important thing is that acids can exist in all three states. Acids can exist in all three states, meaning that they can exist in the solid, liquid, and the gaseous state. So they can exist in all three states. So these were the physical property of acids. Okay, hope it is clear. Now let
Yes.
us look at the chemical property of the acids. Like what are the chemical properties? So when we look at the chemical property, or when we look in general at a chemical process, in a chemical process, a new substance is formed, right now. A new substance is formed. So acids would be reacting with different things. Like when an acid would be, for example, when when an acid would be reacting with any given metal, so a metal salt will be formed along with the release of hydrogen gas. What do I mean to say that? Let us look at this test tube. In this test tube, we have taken an acid called as sulfuric acid. We have taken sulfuric acid in this, and in this uh, we have added some metal. Let us say we have added magnesium, or let us say we have added zinc here in it. Zinc is a metal, right?
Yeah.
So we have taken tiny pieces of zinc in this. So when we shake the mixture, so you might observe formation of some bubbles in this. Can you notice down some bubbles here?
Yes.
Some bubbles are formed. And those bubbles are actually the hydrogen gas that is formed here. What are they? They are hydrogen gas. So the bubbles are actually the hydrogen gas that is formed here. So what we have discussed here, that when acids reacts with metal, then hydrogen gas is released. Then hydrogen gas is released. So that is one of the property of one of the chemical property. Hope it should be clear. Okay. Then we look when we look at some other properties of some other chemical properties of acids. So acids would be reacting with a base. So when an acid will be reacting with a base, so as a result of that, it will give off a salt plus water will be formed. So these are some of the chemical properties of acids. When they react with a metal, then a hydrogen gas is released here. And when they react with base, a salt and water is formed. Hope it should be clear.
Yes.
Okay, now. So if you have any questions so far, please let me know.
No.
Okay. What were the physical properties of acids?
Physical acids.
Hmm.
I
Yes. Recall it. We have learned about it moments ago. Yes. We have learned these following things. They are sour in taste. They turn blue litmus paper to red. They are corrosive in nature. They conduct electricity through them. Huh? And they can exist in all three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Getting it, was your
Yes.
okay. Furthermore, while we were talking about the chemical properties, there we learned about two of the properties. Okay, now two of the properties. So where we get to see that the metals would be reacting with acids, acids would be reacting with metal to give off hydrogen gas. That was evident in this experiment where the bubbles of hydrogen gas were formed. Okay. Furthermore, there will be some acids that will not be reacting with metals at all. For example, think of this like this soda can contains an acid in it, and this
Yes.
can is made up of a metal, like this is made up of tin.
Yes.
So here, this is acid is not going to react. Huh? Will the company put this carbonic acid into a metal with which it will be reacting? Will they ever want to put it into put into such a can with which it will be undergoing a reaction?
Yeah.
No, I mean to say that the soda can this soda here contains carbonic acid. Actually, this does not react with the metal here. Okay, now
Why?
and hence no reaction will take because this is a weaker acid. Carbonic acid is a weak acid. Okay, now that's why we are able to drink the soda because it contains a weak acid. Otherwise, if it were to be a strong acid, our tongue and our food pipe it will be burnt. We won't be able to drink it. So since this is a weak acid, it does not react with the metal here. So only the strong acids will be reacting with the metal. Getting it now?
Yes.
Only the very strong acids will be reacting with the metal. That is one thing. So hope this one should be clear to you. Talking about what are the safety measures one has to take care of while you are dealing with some acidic substance. So you must wear the safety gears. You should have the safety gloves and the safety specs. Wear them whenever you are dealing with some acidic substance. Okay, so let us say that if you are required to, let us say you are given with us, we are given with a sample of a strong acid, and we are required to dilute it. Basically, we have to make it a weak acid. If I were to be provided with a sample of a strong acid, by the way, strong acids are also called as concentrated acid. They're also called as concentrated acid. Now say that I have to convert this into a weak acid. Weak acids, we also call them as dilute acid. We also call them as dilute acids. So how can I make it weak? How can I make it weak? So I can make this acid weak by adding some water in it, or should I add this acid to water? So what I will be doing now, in order to make a strong acid weak, I need to add the acid into water and drop by drop. And we will keep stirring it with a glass rod. Like we can take a glass rod here and we will keep on mixing it, keep on stirring it so that it mixes well into the water. So you should always add acid to the water and not the other way. You should never add acid into the water. Otherwise, lots of heat will be released and the person doing so might get burned. Okay, now? So that is the safety measure while we'll be dealing with acids, and that is how we can dilute an acid. So answer this question: what should we do? We should be adding acid to water, or water to acid?
Acid shall be put it in water.
Acid will be put in water. Good. Okay. Answer these two questions.
In vinegar, citric acid is found.
Vinegar, no. If you can recall, It was the acetic acid. It's the acetic acid. Okay. Next.
Jasola, and it is formic acid.
Very good. So that is formic acid. Okay, now good. Now let us take a look at some of the uses of acids. So some of the uses of acids are like, for example, acids like sulfuric acid and nitric acid. They will be used in industrial productions. Like while we'll be producing the car batteries or in the paints now, so there this sulfuric acid is mainly used. Nitric acid will be used in the production of fertilizers. Sulfuric acid is used there in the production of car batteries and in the paint, while nitric acid will be used to prepare fertilizers, chemical fertilizers. I think you know what a fertilizer is, right?
Yes.
Many
Jasola,
so
weak or strong?
yes,
Weak or strong acid?
strong acids will be used there. Okay, na? While in the car batteries, the weak acid will be used. Weak sulfuric acid will be used. Okay. Now many soft drinks will contain acids like phosphoric acid in them. Okay, and they also contain carbonic acid in them. Getting it?
Yes.
Then acids like hydrochloric acid that helps in the process of digestion. Huh? Then there's a acid. There are some acids that are used in the painkiller also, like aspirin is a painkiller, so that will also contain an acid. In the preparation of the wine, which is an alcohol, there this tartaric acid is used. Huh? Then this acetic acid is found in the vinegar, and this is used in the food. Then this hydrochloric acid is also used in cleaning the bathroom, and it is also used to clean the basins, wash basins. If it is clogged with some vegetable peels or something, if the pipe is clogged, so thereby by pouring the hydrochloric acid into it, the pipe will be clean. So these were some of the uses of
Pipe cannot
acids.
be burned.
No, pipe will usually not burn. The pipes are made in such a way. Like the PVC pipes, they usually don't burn. They don't go through the corrosion. Okay. Okay, so Wajeehur, so if you have any questions so far from the chapter, please let me know.
No,
No?
no.
Okay. Okay, so that's it for today. By the way, if your classes get scheduled, you will be continuing in a one-to-one class or you'll be in the batch.
I don't know. My father asked.
Okay, okay. Okay, anyways, so that's it for today. If you have any other questions, do let me know. And after every class, assignments are given. So right
Yeah.
after this class, you'll be getting the assignment from the website. And while you'll be getting the assignment, be careful, like in the format of uploading the solution.